We are in the home stretch. 4 more days until the November election, and it is a mad dash to the finish line for every single campaign as they try to secure those last-minute votes. Our live special election coverage takes us to ASU's campus today. That's where we find ABC 15's Katie Rammel.
Oh, Faye, we are in the home stretch for sure. This is a wrap now on early voting as of 5 o'clock. Those polling vote centers that have been sprinkled all over the valley are now closed. So aside from emergencies, if you're still holding on to one of those green envelopes, your ballot neatly tucked inside, you're going to have to hold on to that until Tuesday when all of the sites officially open again. Meantime, ASU, such an important vote out here with a voting center just up the walkway. Think of these students, so young, so many voting for the first time, so many just getting a new address as they arrived at school, and so many having so many questions, and the vote centers can help with that. One of a dozen states to have those voting centers. Meantime, it is down to the wire, as Faye mentioned. Every single vote counts, both sides at Get Out the Vote functions today. And we met up with them. ABC 15's Aldo Vasquez tagging along, hitting the streets with several groups out there today. And he's out near Central and Camelback for us at this hour, where one of those Get Out the Vote rallies, Aldo, I understand, is just getting started.
Yeah, that's right. We're just outside of the Phoenix Indian Center, right off of Camelback and Central, where this rally is about to start in the next half hour. This one targeting, bringing candidates from both sides of the aisle, trying to target Native American voters to get out and vote. It's just one of the many groups that are trying to get motivated in these final days. Now, in the groups I hung out with today, they say that they are looking into these low turnout communities, trying to get millennials, women, and minorities to get out and vote.
So just to remind them, hey, November 6th.
Inside this downtown Phoenix office, a small group with a big mission.
1, 2, 3.
Betzabel Ayala Vega with Our Voice, Our Vote hitting the streets.
Thank you, then.
With one purpose, getting people to get out and vote.
I come from a family of immigrants, so obviously like my mom and dad can't really vote, and I know how important it is to vote. So as a young Latino woman, I want to make sure that everyone's voice is heard.
With her cell phone in hand,
this app lets us know who is registered as a voter, and then we can narrow our list based on their age or ethnicity or sex.
She walked this neighborhood near 17th Avenue in Clarendon, where voter turnout is low, looking to motivate minorities, women, and millennials.
So we're just trying to get people to actually just vote. It doesn't matter like what political party you are, just as long as your voice is heard through your vote.
The last couple of weeks have been intense.
Unite Here turning the last days of this election into a fiesta. In these final moments, their focus is making voting as easy as possible.
So far, we've assisted over 2,000 people with their ballot. We've knocked on over 70,000 doors. We're offering rights to people to the polls.
From local community activists to A-list celebrities.
Vote, vote, and vote.
The motivation is high to make every vote count in this high-stakes election.
This is the time for their voice to be heard.
And today was the last day for early voting. After that, you can drop off your ballot at any polling location or vote in person on Tuesday, which is Election Day. Now, for everything that you need to know on the election and the candidates, just head on over to abc15.com/election. We have all that information ready to go for you there. We're at a point live in Phoenix. Aldo Vasquez. Katie, back to you.
Yeah, those assigned polling places still drawing plenty of people wanting to feel the nostalgia and have one of those I voted stickers as well. Aldo, thank you. Great reporting. All right, well, I want to bring in Ernie Calderon, our political expert on this. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
I'm so curious how important these this last weekend will be. We hear of all these people turning in their ballots early, but there's still a push to get their message out for these candidates.
There's still a lot of people that haven't voted because they're undecided. This weekend could be one of the most important weekends in the history of the state, because if you take a look at the polls, they're one side, the other side, they flip back and forth every day. This might be a razor-thin win for several candidates, and the last votes that come in could decide it.
So when it's this tight, then could this young vote be a tipping point for some of these candidates or issues?
Absolutely. The student vote can play a large role depending on the turnout. If it's just a few well-intentioned students, it'll be like always. But if the students really did turn out and voted their preferences, I think you might see more liberal candidates or more progressive candidates to do well.
This is so interesting because this particular vote can be so energizing. People feel like they want to get out there. They feel like they can make a change in their community. At the same time, they're seeing tons of nasty ads out there. They're seeing things out there that just totally turn them off to the voting process. So on one hand, it draws you in, and on the other hand, you're rejecting what you're seeing there.
Well, unfortunately, we're now at the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
It's really hard for even the most upbeat and positive voter to tell you what one of the candidates stands for. They can tell you what they don't stand for. They can tell you what they say about the other candidate. But it's a different day and age.
Yeah, so the nasty message becomes memorable in some cases.
People are voting from their fear base.
Yeah.
And they're thinking very negative.
Yeah, it's hard to dig deep into the facts sometimes. We're going to have you back in the next hour. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to send it back to the studio now, and ahead at 6, we're going to have so much more on the tightest races that we're still watching so closely, where your vote and your voice really matter in this case. That's ahead at 6.